Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Brothers, welcome again to this session of our live session on Facebook. Inshallah, we will be discussing few things again as a part of the series of a new part of one part of the series that we are starting now is making sense of life. And today is the first session, first part of the series, you can say, is we're gonna discuss about the Creator. And the reason why doing it is because we want to lay a good and solid foundations for the beliefs that people have in the religion of Islam. And many a times people have these questions, which are not actually questions; they are statements. And if they had some kind of understanding of where Islam is coming from, or where our understanding of life comes from, where we root our beliefs, if we are able to express to them where are they all coming from, then all these questions that they have are basically they're answered. So we're going to dive into this idea of the religion of Islam and how it portrays and how it expresses its what do you say, belief in the Creator, and how everything follows after that. So we would like to give our viewers a basic understanding of who the Creator is and what is required from us in order to further progress in our religion, is to first establish of where our belief is actually coming from. And for any type of belief, you need solid ground foundations, because if you don't have solid foundations, you cannot build anything on top of that. So, the necessity of believing in a Creator and the necessity of there being a Creator is, we need to discuss that, and we need to get it in perspective. So, Brother Muhammad, welcome. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I only get to check now
that
I spelled my name wrong here in the last. It instead of Ali, it goes actually Asli. Alhamdulillah.
No problem.
Alhamdulillah.
Asli, you are Asli anyway.
The Asli one.
Asli, yeah.
Alhamdulillah. I mean,
So
it's nice to meet you again, brothers.
We want to discuss a little bit about the Creator today, and then we'll talk about guidance, and then talk about different things in the later series that will come, inshallah, for the next couple of weeks. So how do you answer all these questions? Like how do we perceive the Creator, who He is, and how do we reflect upon the questions that people ask about the Creator?
Like this is the $1 million question, actually, just to put it easily. It's simple, but yet we try to, everyone has a scenario you have to face this anyway. So when we as a Muslim say, who do we perceive the Creator? Is there a Creator? Let's reflect upon the principle of first as a human being. This times we're in at the moment, you can see how we are dependent as human beings. We're facing a calamity. We're going through a coronavirus. It cost us really, it stopped every aspect of our life. We are all shot for a bit. So to stop from death, the reason they're doing this is that we stop human beings from dying in multitudes. That was the main goal behind it. And as we go through these aspects of death, one has to question first, where did we originate it from? And those are questions that human beings, we have to face and seek for it first. And when we tackle this is, why are we afraid of death? I mean, if we don't know why we're afraid of death, then the question rises in, where did this universe come from? It expands broader and broader in life. Then all things that, depends on that Creator will consequently, will be not in control of anything that Creator decides. He created this universe, that a purpose that is known to Him. So is there a Creator first? Yes, we can have a look at the universe itself. It's organized, it's fashioned, it is well balanced, in so many scenarios, I mean, most of the human beings will accept it. Like if somebody knows something, when you go to a doctor, like this is a scenario where we normally human beings face. You go to a doctor, you don't question his credibility. You know he's a doctor. If you were to question his credibility, then you wouldn't be standing there in front of him. What proves
in the first place, you wouldn't go there in the first place.
Yeah, you wouldn't go to the place first of all. So the credibility proving a creator is the creation. The essence of proving a creator is the creation, the way that it's actually fashioned. As a human being, the way we are made, it's mechanically functioning certain way. If we design something, computers, be it machines that we design, we take pride in our creation that we make as a human beings.
Yes.
And by doing that, we are called ourselves what? A civilized generation beyond the ones that was existing, pre-existing us. So let's look at the things that we create. Let's go mechanical, because that's kind of background that I am. And I feel a lot comfortable explaining in this way. Like you got machinery that makes trenches, that digs holes. Yeah. They have mechanical arms that they use that swivels in the joints. And in the swivels, we kind of have pins that goes in it, and you put in the grease nipple and you put grease in it just to lubricate so it doesn't actually seize in the movement. But when you do the mechanics of human beings, you don't have to be a biologist. They'll tell you have arthritis. What's going on in arthritis? Something is going wrong with your body. Something is not doing a lubrication that it's supposed to do. So something in the nature that God created, we take pride in the things that we made by looking back into what the Creator created. Even for those of us who we see as the most noble educated human beings, they're only based on the Creator of God. They're not beyond that. Be it being a doctor, he's professionalized how to repair this machine that was already designed and functioning. You be a geologist, your knowledge will be solely based in something that's already been predestined and made. So the money you're getting, your qualifications will be based on that Creator alone. So who is that? So where did this knowledge come from? When we do it and when we learn certain knowledge about the Creator, we take pride of it. But is there really a Creator behind it? That is a question that you can ask a layman to it. You don't have to be knowledgeable, because the Creator wanted to find, he didn't want the noblest of us, let's say the scientist of us. What's the percentage of scientists contrary to laymen? I mean, it's a number that is very insignificant.
Yeah.
The reason of us finding we have a Creator, he did not limit it to the knowledgeable. It's something that we all can come to a conclusion by means of acceptance, first of all. And the first thing that proves is the creation and the way that it works. You breathe, your oxygen, the food that you need, the rain that comes down from the sky. Those are all mechanisms and systems that is set for mankind to see that there is a designer who designed all this. You don't walk into a house and say it just came by itself. It doesn't work that way. The earth that we see in it, it's a massive house. It's got its own light. It's got its own temperature, adjustments. It's all fluctuations. It's got all germinations. Some seeds germinate when the fire goes on. You throw a seed on the ground, it comes up. This is a system designed to function. So the element of a creation is there to see for every level of understanding of your capabilities. Be it being scientific, because it's there in your eyes, or be it being a layman, your food that you plant in your seed, the farmer is able to see there is a Creator. He only puts the seed in, he doesn't know it's going to grow or not. He actually depends on knowing there is a Creator. And you can be a fisherman and going to the sea, getting to know you can't breathe in water. There is an animal that breathes in water. Oh my God, there is a Creator. He only puts the seed in, he doesn't know it's going to grow or not. He actually depends on knowing there is a Creator.
Yes.
Is that clear? To know you can't breathe in water. There is an animal that breathes in water.
MashaAllah. So, brother.
I thought I had a network problem there. Was it breaking on me?
No, you're fine. You go ahead.
Okay, absolutely, absolutely. So yeah, the reason, let's just put it underline first. The reason of a creator, it's there for everyone to see. The reason for a creator to exist is there. The first thing is there is a creation. Like no matter how much we add, 0 plus 0, if there is none outside the universe, nothing of this nature will exist at all. So 0 plus 0 will always mean a zero. There's no way you can come into a room and say you'll find it fully furnished out of nowhere. Let's just accept the furniture. But this is a system that functions and works. And there's no way as a human being we can accept that there is no creator and fashioner for this. This is the first premises. The reason of a creator is there for everyone to see.
So basically, the creation exists, therefore there must be a creator. Like it necessitates that everything that is around us is a proof, and it's speaking on the creator's behalf. It's saying that it's an existence and nothing can come out of absolutely nothing. So there must be something who brought this.
Let me clarify this one. Nothing came to existence, because you have to say this. Nothing came to existence. You know, I have an age. I'm 36 now. You know, you take to the universe. Everything that came to existence, everything that came to existence must have a creator that created to exist. That's what we're saying. And it's fundamental to the function of it as well. Like when I make a door, the function of that door, I dictate that. I put the paint on it. It waits for me. It's dependent on me. Similarly, this universe and the function of this universe, it's dependent to a creator. So therefore, you cannot deny a creator, because we can see already our dependency to something already. You know, we depend on a doctor to take care of us. We depend on a farmer to bring the food. Now, now we're going through the scary times. Not everybody is able to win the breads that we normally used to do. The farmers are the higher. And imagine this now. This is amazing. The farmers are important now more than anything else. They produce what human beings need.
They consume. Yes.
Yeah, they consume. So then this explains who brought all this function together. So this is the first thing that proves the essence of God. This is the first thing that proves the essence of God. And if we go to the Quranic teaching, Allah poses this question to mankind. He gives very easy logical questions to prove God's existence. It doesn't have to be entertained, of course. God will never entertain, because he is the creator. So he poses 3 simple questions where he asks human beings, did you create this universe? Or did this universe create itself? Or, did you guys create it yourself? Or were you the creators of this universe? Or did the universe create itself? Rather, you're not certain. Simple questions, simple rhetorical questions to checklist. Do you say this universe came by nothing? Or did it create itself? I need to breathe oxygen, and then I need to go outside where there is no oxygen, and then make a place of oxygen. And then, it's a rhetorical, it's a paradoxical questions that, humans face. But the element, of course, the reason for God to exist is absolutely there for mankind to find. That's where the element stands. Of course, Brother Ali can expand on it, and Brother Ahmed expanded, especially when we go in Islamic teaching. There is many ways that we can, of course, the Quran is a proof of it. There's so many other elements that you can use. But the first premises is reason of your existence is a proof that there is a creator. That's the first thing that stops.
Very good. Brother Ahmed, would you like to expand it? Would you like to shed some light on this? Give your point of view?
I will go to that point about the existence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When Brother Muhammad said that the issue about the world is designed, and of course it's designed, but there is another point, is the existence of the universe itself. For the scholars, they are saying that for a long time there was a debate, like a debate between the theologists and the philosophers. Even that time, the philosophers, they are admitting that they are admitting, some of them, not all of them, they are admitting that there is a creator, but they are saying that the universe itself is the same like the creator. I mean, like it's old. like there is no separation between, or there is no time separating between the existence of God and the existence of the universe. They are saying that both of them were old, are old. But that kind of debate, it's transferred between the theologists, because there is no more famous philosophers right now. Okay, the debate now between the theologists or the believers of God and the scholars of materialistic science. And this also extends for a long time. The scholars of materialistic science, they are saying, they are telling the theologists that uh, that the universe is just it's always existing. There was no time that there is this universe, and they are telling them, for you to say that there is a time, there is a beginning for that universe, you are the one who need to bring a proof. And because of the nowadays situation is changed, okay, and then now it's the materialistic scholars who saying there is a start for the universe. So the situation now is going in the favor of the theologists, or the believers of God. And I have heard a phrase from some scholars there, uh, is what like that it's a very high mountain, okay, and the scholars of the materialistic science, they are trying their best to climb that mountain. And when they reach the top of the mountain, they find the believers of God over there, and they are telling, we are waiting for you here long time, you are late. So now there is a beginning. They are saying that yes, there is a beginning, and
Yes.
it's like implanted in our brains. Like, if there is a thing that have a beginning, there is a must that there is a reason for that thing to start. I mean, it cannot start by itself. Like what Brother Muhammad explained earlier, is saying that if it doesn't exist at the first time, okay, so it cannot, you cannot say and come and say like what some physics, they are saying that, the people, the scholars of physics, they are saying that it's still possible that this universe started itself from the beginning. I mean, like, it was not there, okay, but still how can, even if you ask a young child about this thing, and then you'll tell him that something that doesn't exist and is going to start itself from nothing, it's something that it's really illogic at all. So here, the Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, okay, the creator subhanahu wa ta'ala, he the proof for his existence subhanahu wa ta'ala is the proof of that this universe was not there, and now it's there. So there is still, there is a must that there is a reason that this universe come to existence. And the second proof is the proof of the design. It's because that people, the evolutionists, when they are talking about, they are saying yes, it's okay, but there is something now they are extending the theory of evolution, not only to the, before they are talking about evolution in the living beings, like the human being, they started as the first cell, and then the cell, it evolutes until it become like the nowadays creatures with different kinds, okay. But they are not already limiting themselves, they are extending now, and they are talking about evolution of the universe itself. They are saying that like this universe, like physical evolution now.
I know. I've seen that one actually. Yeah, subhanallah.
Yes. So they are talking that all that things that it's very much logic. It's very much appealing to every person with sound brain, that there is a design about this thing, and they are saying no, 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 no. It's not design. It's not design. It's just it happened by chance. Everything is happening by chance, and they are really having a very high belief in the chance. I was used to use this kind of argument when they uh, when it comes when the people, when they are making like a trial, clinical trial in the laboratory, to prove something, that something is the reason for something, okay. They are putting when they are analyzing the results of the clinical trial, there is something they are naming it the probability value. That probability value, the definition for it is the value that it's telling that it is still possible that the results of the trial of the experiment come to exist by chance. Okay, so if the probability value is within this limit, okay, so they are accepting the results of the experiment and they are taking it, yes, that like this one is valid. But if the probability value is higher, okay, and so they are not accepting, they are saying that no, it is still that that the experiment, our results get by chance, and we cannot take this one we cannot consider this results for this one. And they are putting the limit for this value as 5%. Okay, so if it's higher than 5%, they are denying the results of the experiment. Okay, I have, you know, I have seen some calculations. They are making calculations of the possibility of the formation of one single protein molecule. Okay, here we are not talking about the DNA. The DNA is a highly complicated thing. The protein is much simpler than the DNA. The protein, which is much simpler, the possibility for one single molecule of protein to be formed from the basic elements of it by chance, by pure chance, that possibilities for it to happen, it takes the whole, it's no more than the estimated lifetime of the universe. The estimated lifetime, they estimating that the lifetime of this universe is like around 14 billion years. Okay, so they made mathematical calculation and they found that a single protein, for a single protein molecule, we need more than the 14 billion years from the single ends. So he
just one protein, just one molecule of protein will require 14 billion years.
By chance, if it was
by chance.
yes, okay. if they are going to try all the possibilities for you to bring out
all the possibilities in the universe, like all the matter, all the things together in forming one molecule of protein.
Yes. And then when you are talking to these people and you're telling them that this possibility is like this, they are going to tell you what? They are going to tell you, yes, but it's still possible. It's very small, but
it is possible. Yeah,
it's still possible. Yeah. Here, you know, here in that scholars, when it comes to the laboratory work and both experiment, they are denying the results of the experiment that they worked hard on it because of 5% or higher. Okay, but when it comes to accepting that this world is designed, which is really much appealing, they're saying yes, that very small possibility, it's still possible.
Still a possibility, yeah.
Yes, it's still possible. Okay, subhanallah. Yeah. Yes, but when you didn't say if it's still possible that this thing happened by chance, you have also to say it's still possible by the remaining of the percentage that there is someone, okay, or some being or a higher being who made it. Okay, so why, if when it comes to, you know, in our lives, if we're going to do anything and we know that thing is going to risk our life, okay, I'm not talking here about, I'm not taking this one as the you know, because in Islam, of course, we are not saying that suspicion is excluded. We cannot say that there is still possible that there is God. No, the Muslim need to say it's confirmed that, and it's really confirmed. But I mean, those people, that suspicious people in their general life, if they are going to do anything that's going to have a risk for them, they're saying, no, okay, it's risky, I'm not going to do this thing. But when it comes to
if they want to take risk, then they won't be able to do anything because they'll be just sitting at home and they'll be like, because they'll be skeptical about everything in life, you know. But when it comes to their own life, it's okay. Chance is not there. They make calculations and they say, okay, we'll do it. But when it comes to the creator, they say, no, there's a highly possibility that there is no creator and that everything came by chance. Yeah. Brother Ali, what would you like to say to in this regard of that there is about the necessity of a creator?
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. MashaAllah, both the brothers, they brought forward quite interesting arguments. And obviously, you know, as Muslims, we believe that there's a God who has created all of this. And obviously, we believe that, you know, with creating us, he has given us a purpose, you know, and obviously that purpose, every single Muslim knows that the purpose of our life over here is to worship that God alone. Going back to the point that the brothers were talking about, you know,
I have a very interesting question right after this, so maybe you can speak about the creator, and then I'll throw in the, you know, the swing now in a bit.
You'll throw in the spanner in the works, huh?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean the common argument for you know, some of the very straightforward arguments for the existence of God, you know, basically we try to summarize it. You know, there's a design argument, you know, that everybody you know, these are things that we can see. You know, you don't have to be a scientist, you don't have to be a very knowledgeable person, you don't have to be well versed in the books of history or books of science or all of that. These things are obvious to people who have, you know, skills of observation, and who have kind of you know, basic understanding. You know, the design, everything, you know, we say that, you know, it has a design element. You know, the way we look at our earth, we look at the universe, we look at every single thing. You know, it performs its function without any kind of fault. Everything is you know, working flawlessly. So if there's a design aspect to it, then definitely there has to be a designer, you know. Yes. And that's where we say, okay, you know, that designer, the one who fashioned everything to work flawlessly, the one who, you know, created everything to work in perfect harmony, that is God. And definitely then, you know, the second you know, argument that you know, which is once again something that, you know, any layman can understand, is that we all are very finite beings. You know, we all are very dependent beings. Every single aspect of our existence is dependent on something else. So if you think about, you know, these things, and if you take it logically, you know, dependent things cannot come into existence on their own. There has to be in that chain something that is independent, something that is not dependent on something else. And that brings about all these dependent things into being. So, you know, the example that, you know, is generally given is that if I was to lift a table, and, you know, if me lifting the table is dependent on somebody else asking me to do it, and him asking me to do it is dependent on somebody else asking him to do it, and the chain stretches back to, you know, infinite, you know, that there's everybody is dependent on somebody else asking them to do it. It's never going to happen that I will ever be able to lift a table or lift anything, you know, in that example. So definitely in that chain, something has to be there that is not dependent on anything, that is independent, that is free from any kind of flaw or any kind of necessity. And that aligns with the concept of God in Islam, that he is Allah Samad, you know, he's independent. He's not, you know, needy, or he's not, you know, deficient in any way or any form. So that's basically going back to the point that, you know, there's a creator, there's a God that, you know, created and brought all of this into existence. And, you know, he gave us that purpose of worshiping him.
Very good, mashallah. He kind of touched on the question that I was about to ask now, Brother Muhammad Ali. I would like to ask, you know, you this question. Okay. That, you know, there's a common argument. The people that say, okay, there is a creator. Okay, there is a, if there's a table, then there has to be a carpenter or someone who made this table, who brought this into existence. So, but the next question follows, and I'm pretty sure you might recognize what the question would be. Who created the creator?
Yeah,
if the creator is there, then there must be someone who created the creator. Then who created the creator? So this is normally, as soon as you say something, people admit, And Brother Ali, he touched upon it a little bit, but I'll let you expand on this a little bit more. That okay, fine, there is a creator because there is design and there is, we can see laws and laws of physics and logic and everything in this universe. So if the creator has created everything, then who created the creator?
Yeah, see, in these questions, first, there is a problem with it already. There's a problem with it. Because if we set the understanding of the creator, when we defining the creator, who the creator is, there are questions that disqualifies to be asked about the creator first. Anyway, simply as saying, there is no such thing, as Brother Ali mentioned, as an infinite regress. There's no such thing as, when there is a creation that is dependent, the creator that created should be free from the limitation of its creatures. So the creatures that he created, be a billion years old, but they still have a date. The creator should, as a Muslims, when we say about the creator, we're talking about an external creator to his creation. We're not making it to be humanized. We're not talking about any of its nature that he created. So the creator who created this universe should be free from he should be free and external to his creation already. This is who we define the creator. And anything that he created, nothing is like unto him. That's what not makes him unique. God is unique. When we talk about the creator, what makes him unique is anything that his creators possess should be free from him, be it being limited to age, birth. Those are things. He created those who's given birth. So he should be free from that.
Yeah.
Like this is a cycle that he created for the creation to populate and reproduce. This is a system. So he should be free from the system that he created. Time, birth, beginning, those are things that he created. So when we say Al-Hayy Al-Qayyum, we say the ever-living, the sustaining. So this universe, let's say you and I are 100 years old. Let's give to each other. If there is another child to come after me and there is a creator who has a limited time, then this will not function. This will deteriorate it before you and I ever walked on it anyway. So the system that he created will be free from the limitation of the creation, be it life, be it needy. So it is necessary for him to exist, because this otherwise will not exist. As Brother Ali put it well, actually, that this universe will not be here if there is someone to be made. Then guess what? The next one, who's going to make the next? So where is it going to stop? It's going to have to stop at some point where you say there is uncreated creator, where this all originated from. This is who we call it as Muslims, Allah, God. External to his universe, powerful, because all this requires power to be made. Like I'll see if brother Allah reward him, Brother Ahmed will break into the attributes of God, like free from limitations, and attributes that only defines who he is, and attributes only defining those who he created, as we stated already previous days. And that's who we call God. So questions are disqualified or what? Can he make something that is so big that he can't lift it? Those kind of actually illogical questions.
Paradox.
Is that really commonsensical question? No. Like you and I are here. The fact that you and I are here, we know there is a creator that created this universe unparalleled to his creation, because the knowledge that surpasses mankind, the power that will surpass, like one of the suns, it has a name that is, scientific name, YV something. It's so massive, like I can't even explain it really in numerical. One of our sun that you and I harbor about, it fits inside of it, millions of it. This is a scale that they, the scientists come up with. This is the power of creation that he created. So it's beyond our grasp to know who the creator is, of course, but there is a creator. But I have other questions. Interesting that you put this question. Okay. The next thing is, if there are two hypotheses, okay? Simple hypothesis to mankind. If there is a creator that is created, then this creation will not function. It will deteriorate. Simple hypothesis. You build a house. Yeah. If you don't occupy the house, it will deteriorate. If you don't maintain it, it will never stay by itself. because it needs somebody to take care and maintain it.
To maintain it, yeah.
To maintain it. It's a simple hypothesis. So the universe functioning, working the way it's working, it is by default position. Yeah, it's by default position. There is a creator that maintains it, runs it. Otherwise, it will never stand the way it is. We can see all the other celestial bodies that he already created, that he did not need to put anyone on it. You know, he puts a time frame on it. There is no human beings. So there is no the likeness of oxygen, the cycle of life, the fruit germinations, all those things. They don't exist in those planets because there is nothing like you and I in those planets. And let's say the Goldilocks zone that you and I are possessing, staying. The Jupiter into the nice spot that it's in now. The Jupiter protecting us from all these objects. You know, there are so many aspects if you go that higher level. But for a simple mankind of you and I, we can easily come to conclusion of a creator that is uncreated, that created this universe. So I think I spent too much on this. So let's move on the next part of it. Okay, if that's okay, brother.
Yeah,
yeah. The next part is that then who is he? Like, how can we know who he is? Yeah. How can we know who he is? Is it 1, 2, 3, multitudes? Does it function in a way that you and I can grasp?
Yeah. Why is there only one? Why can't there be two creators and they join together and join forces and then created the universe? What makes us? Yeah, that's the next question. That why is there has to be only one? Why aren't there 2 or 3 or 4?
Yeah, for some reason, like Brother Ali was saying, come back to the table analogy. MashaAllah, beautiful table analogy.
Yeah.
If I'm about to lift this table, waiting for someone else to help me with lifting this table will never get lifted.
Yeah.
For simple analogies, for this universe to exist, like the dependency of things to be lifted, that is a requirement of creatures. For the creator to create this universe, if he were to wait for someone else to come to an existence, to make this universe, this will never exist. So that's what makes him unique and one. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I hope you can break into it more. Okay. The simple analogy is the dependency is why you need multitudes. Simple aspect of it. Dependency creates multitudes. If you are not dependent, then therefore there is no need to exist twice. If you're free from limitation, if your free will is in your own, you have all powerful, your free willness, that makes a creation, that makes a creator singularity, because for you and I to lift a table, you need another body of mind because I lack something for another body to exist.
Yes.
Does that make sense? And as in Islamically, the Quran agrees to this, where Allah says, قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدٌ, say Allah is one, and Allahu Samad, as Brother Ali put in, uniquely one. If there is 2 of us, let's say, and we want to organize something, then there is also the quarrels of the 2 of us. I like it this way, I like it simply this way. And because I like it simply this way, and you like it simply different way, this will never get done as well. So there are 2 analogies. The second one is, I am already powerful enough to do and make the decisions of my own. As Islamically, we believe that God is one and uniquely one, and created all this universe without the need of any partner, because he is self-sufficient already by no need of partner. Second thing, as a human beings, understanding simple human beings, we have a parliament. Let's say we have man running the parliament, doing legislation for the country. In order for to pass on one single verdict for all of us, we'll find the trouble of anyone else already contradicting this. And what happens? Fist fights. Let's see the movies that we make about gods that are fictional. Yeah, we make movies about the fictional gods of Zeus and whatnot. The Greek gods. What do you see normally?
Yeah.
Zeus is overdoing the other gods. Other gods are overdoing the other gods. Then the system of creation will
conspiring against each other. Yeah.
Exactly. So the system will not function if there is multitudes of a similar entity of power, because their dominance of running the system will collapse and fail by default. Do we know that? So that is the commonsensical paradigm that human beings can come to conclusion by seeing how we make decisions. If a wife and husband, it's a touchy point when I say this, a wife and husband in the house, things will need to be done at home. It always takes somebody giving up, or maybe an argument flaring. And if argument flares, nothing gets done. Simple. And as Allah says
That's
in the
true.
Quran,
MashaAllah.
Allah puts it very easy by saying, if there is multitudes of gods, then la fasadata. Allah puts it in simply saying the universe will be obliterated. It will not work. It will not function at all.
It'll be chaos. It'll be chaos. Yes.
It'll be chaos.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Inshallah, brother Ahmed. You know, we spoke a lot about the Creator and how He possesses the power and how He cannot contradict Himself and how He has all the He's all wise and He is, you know, all able to do things. But that's not the only way how we perceive our God. This is not the only way that we perceive Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The Creator, Him being the Creator, He has multiple other attributes which makes Him the worthy of our worship. Which brings me to the point where you can maybe elaborate on a few of His attributes that make sense to a human being of why he should be looking for these attributes and in return offer his own submission willingly in order to recognize and to admit the power and all the other attributes of that Creator.
When it comes to the attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the scholars, they are used to classify the attributes of Allah in different ways. But one of the ways that they are classifying it, they are classifying it up to attributes that's known by revelation and other attributes that known by common sense. Can know it by yourself. Even doesn't mean that it's there in the revelation. It's in the revelation. But even if the revelation is not there, you can still know it if you are going to look for God by yourself. Okay, but the revelation is coming to confirm this one. Like for example, that God, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the Almighty. He is the most powerful. Okay, He is the most wise. He is the all-knowing. He is the sustainer of the universe. All of these kind of attributes, it's it's just if someone who don't know, he doesn't receive the message of the prophets, of the message of Allah, and he's looking for God, the ideal message, the ideal profile for God that he's looking for is like this one, being that he is able to do everything, and he is all knowing, and he is all wise, and he can hear you wherever you are, and he can see you wherever you are. Okay, so this is the ideal, the ideal for a God. Okay, but there is other attributes for Allah that it's not known to us, but it's still, it's still accepted. If you're going to think about it, when it comes about the revelation, doesn't mean that these things is out of mind. No, it's still, if you're going to think about it, you're going to still accept it. Like for example, the forgiveness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Yes.
If we're going to think about this one, when the prophets and the messengers, they are telling that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is forgiving the sins if we do a mistake, and then we are going to come back to Him and ask for him. He is at-Tawwab. He is the Al-Ghafur subhanahu wa ta'ala. If we're going, yes, it's pleasing to us, and it's making us comfort with God, and it's also acceptable. But before the revelation, some people might be able to get this one, some people might not be able to get it. So the revelation here is coming to make it more clear. Okay. The most important attribute of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is His oneness, that He is only one subhanahu wa ta'ala. Like what Brother Muhammad just explained earlier, this issue about only one God, it's like it's implanted in our brains, it's implanted in ourselves, and that's what the scholars, they nominate Dalil al-Fitrah. That already, we are born and we are designed in a way to discover that there is God, and it's only one. It's only one. There is no. And even when Brother Muhammad talked about that people that polytheistics, the gods of the Greek people, and even the pharaohs and all these kinds of people that they are polytheistic. If you are going to see about the theology of these people, you're going to find that there is a common thing about things. that myth that they are making, they are always making a supreme God, like they are the highest of the gods. There's always one that he is
Yes.
higher than all of these people. They're going to say that there is God for the yes. So they are going to say that all these gods, all the other gods they have shortage, but there is still one. He is the highest of the highest.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Even
And
in the
it's the
Greek. Yeah.
same. Yes. Yes, even that people, it's the people, the polytheistic, the mushrikun at the time of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they are still believing in the Almighty Allah subhanahu wa taala, and they are taking this guy that fake gods together with him. When they are going to make like they are used to make Hajj at that time. So they are instead of the Muslim talbiyah that when we are making talbiyah saying labbaik Allahumma labbaik la sharika lak labbaik innal hamda wan ni'mata lak wal mulk, we are saying, oh Allah, we are coming to you and it's only you and there is no enemy. The mushrikun of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when they are making Hajj, they are going to say what? They are going to say labbaik Allahumma labbaik la sharika lak illa sharikan lak tamlukuhu wa ma malak. They are saying that labbaik, we are coming to you to Allah, there is no partner together with you except they are going to say.
Okay, they made an exception. Yes.
You are Allah, Almighty. You own this partner, you own the things that this partner owns. So how come he become partner? How come you're saying that he's partner? Partner means that he owns something, but you're saying no, he's not a real partner. It's actually Allah Almighty Subhanahu wa Taala. He owned that partner, he owned that things that belonging to that partner also. So how come he is partner? And there is one hadith of the Prophet Muhammad. He asked one of the people at that time. He became a Sahabi later on. He became a Muslim, and he said, how many gods you are worshiping? And the man told him 7, 1 in the heaven and 6 in the earth. And the Prophet Muhammad, he didn't try to discuss like the names of these fake gods of like asking him. No, because already whatever you are saying that okay, now we agree that there is a God in the heaven. Okay, and they asked him, if you are in trouble and you are facing hard time, you are going to whom? Again, I'm going to the one in the heaven. And he said, if there is no rain and the earth become, there is no food for your cattle, and you're going to whom? He said, I'm going to the one in the heaven. And the Prophet asked him several questions, and every time he said that I'm going to the one in the heaven. I said, what about these other people? What do you use for them?
What do you need them
that
for?
other
Yeah.
6? Yes. And he said, He said, they are making me close to him. يقربونني إليه. Okay. So if you are agreeing that everything is belonging to him, and these other fake things, they are not doing anything except according to that claim that they are making you close to him, but he is subhanahu wa ta'ala, he is close. He's telling you not to go to anyone when it comes to the things that no one can do except him subhanahu wa ta'ala. Go to him directly. You don't need something like connection. You don't need interceding between him and you. All what you know is to raise your hands to the heaven and ask him, oh Allah, give me, oh Allah, forgive me, oh Allah, bless me, oh Allah, bring me to Jannah. Okay, so the most important attribute of Allah is his oneness, and the oneness means that he and he alone, he is the one worthy of worship. Why some people they are going to say, why we need to worship him? Why? I mean, even if we admit that there is God and he created everything and he make everything, so why still we need to worship him? It's not a must. The first and most important thing when it comes to worship, if it's a must or not, it's not up to you or me or anyone else to say it's a must or no. You need to know what God wants you to do. If he wants you to worship, so you need to worship. Okay. And this can be known by going back to the revelation and discovering which message of God that the people are claiming that it's coming from God, which one is true. So even the non-believers of God, they still need to I mean, no. The people that they are saying that they are believing in God, but they are not believing in the messages, or they are not believing in the religions, and they are telling that there is all of them are fake, all of them are made. Okay, so here, what the use of your life? Why you are here? If you are believing that there is God and He made you, so why you are here? Just to live and die? Okay, you need to go back and search that messages. Even you are saying that but still possible that one of these religions is true, and you need to discover, to explore. And
good, mashallah. Brother Ali, we went through the concept of why is it necessary to have to believe in a creator. Obviously there is a creation, and then there has to be a designer and a creator of all these things. And then we went through, mashallah, brother Ahmed went through all the some of the attributes of Allah. He's not only the creator, but he's someone who has given us life, and he he's the one who's taking care of us, he's sustaining us, and he's giving us what we have. So like the brother Ahmed, like at the end of his part, when he said that people are saying, then okay, then why does he need for us? Why is there a need for us to worship him if he's all powerful, if he is all magnificent, and why is there a need for him to ask us for worship? Why does he require our worship? So how would you say that? And we only have maybe 5 minutes more, and I'll get everyone's take on this. Everyone maybe give me 2 minutes of their time answering this. Then why does he require our worship? If he's all this magnificent, then why does he need it?
See, coming to the point, God by definition, when you say God, by definition, it entails, the concept of worship, because God is is a being that deserves the worship, that needs to be worshipped. Otherwise, he's not God, But we see in Quran, Allah says, "Laysa kamithlihi shay'un wa huwa as-sami'ul 'alim," that there's nothing like him, and he is all seeing, all hearing, and all seeing. So, there is, when we try to compare God, and try to bring analogies, it becomes a bit problematic. But we can see that, God is, he has created all of this universe for us. And from the universe, we can see that, there are so many great things that, when we look at, we are in awe and we are in admiration. So we can only imagine how great the creator of all this universe would be. And someone who has created all of this and is so great, and he's not comparable to anything. So asking even these questions, why does he need to be worshipped? It's kind of a very fallacious question. It's not very appropriate to be asking this, casually. Why does he need to be worshipped? Because we cannot really comprehend the nature of God in our full capacity because of our human limitations.
And because you, even in the beginning, in the first part of your talk, you said that he's free from any need.
Yeah.
So the question even becomes, invalid in that sense, that he is like, the question is pre-assuming the fact that he needs,
yeah.
But he doesn't.
Yeah. And coming to that point, the question about need, it arises from, because we as human beings, we have tendency to make everything human, they call it anthropomorphism. Yeah. That, the tendency of making everything look like a human being. So yes. You would see, this something similar in the religions of the old, like the brothers, they gave examples of gods of Greek mythology, that all of their gods, they had human features, they had human kind of attributes. The god would be jealous, the god would be, he'd be stealing from the other god, he would be, having a fight with the other god. So all of that was very human, because we see things in our self and then we try to project them on God.
Yeah.
So similarly, the question that, why does God need to be worshipped? It comes from that similar kind of assumption that God is somehow in need, because we human beings, in order for us to do something, we have to have that need. We see this in our everyday life. For me to perform any action, for me to drink water, I need to have that thirst. Otherwise, why go through that effort? So people are like, they think that, God, since he has asked us to worship him, he's in need of it. But that's not the case. But once again, in our life also, we see lots of examples where, we have, for example, mother with her child, that, sometimes she stops him from doing something. She's not in need of, stopping him, but it happens. So, I mean, what I'm trying to say is that not everything we do in our life is also, driven by needs.
Yeah.
And true. we come back to the concept of what we call, worship. Worship is not just, mechanical rituals, that,
yes,
you just bow down, you put your head on the floor. Rather, worship, or the concept of ibadah, is a very comprehensive concept that entails complete submission to, the one that is being worshipped. It's a state of being, it's a state of living, so what it means is that, when you worship God, you are not just praying and fasting, and this, it's not just set of rituals that you're doing, but your whole life is committed to that cause, that God is deserving of worship. Basically you have that in your heart, the humility, the humbleness, and that consciousness that, you are submitting to him. And all of that, can only be achieved when you realize how great God is, how much, the more you have awareness of him and his greatness, the more your heart and the more you feel like, content with that worship. And the great example, the opening of Quran in Surah Fatiha, Allah says, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, Malik Yawmiddin. And then, it says, Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'in, So the first three verses are like, the praise of God, all the praise, he's deserving of all the praise. And he is most beneficent and the most merciful. And he is also the owner of the day of judgment. And then, it says that we only worship you. So the first three verses, they bring a believer into that state of mind where he has realized the magnificence of God. And then, it is only worthy that a being that is that magnificent, that has created all of this, is only worthy of worship. And obviously, worship has its benefits. Worship gives, when God has given us that purpose, we human beings, you will see a lot of the time people talk about they have something missing in life. There is something that is not there. They don't feel complete. And that comes back to that missing sense of purpose. So yes, when God has given us that purpose, and we innately have that need to fulfill that purpose, so it only makes sense to go back to that worship and, fulfill that purpose that God has created us with. So in summary, we said that he's not in need of any kind of worship, but rather it is an opportunity for us. He has given us that opportunity to worship his greatness, and through that we can be eligible for his favor and his blessings.
MashaAllah, Jazakallah khair. Thank you very much, brother Muhammad. I'll just give me a few points. I know you have many. I could see you have an expression of you have a lot to speak about on this topic. But let's just.
I think we're not going to do justice to this one session alone. We'll have to come back.
We only have just give me 2 more minutes, and inshallah we'll conclude. So just give me in 2 minutes. Just summarize. Everything of why does he deserve our worship? Why is there a need? For us to worship him, like
Allah does not need, as the brothers already covered, that part is clear. Allah is self-sufficient. There's no need of Allah. Allah does not need us. We need Him. We are the dependent part of the creation. So Allah created us for being dependent on Him, and we are dependent on Him, and part of worship is being dependent, showing obedience to the right God. So that's what worship is in other sense. You know, the only God, and it's also to seclude from those who deviate as well. So the reason that we worship only God is the only one that deserves to be worshipped is Him. So there is nothing else in this world that deserves your obedience, because He made this universe. Entails then the worship in its essence belongs only to Him. Then you find any other people who will have, if you don't worship God, then you are worshiping something else by default. That's the position of human beings. So if you don't find a solitude and point of devotion to God, then you're finding somewhere else, be it being a golfer, be it being somebody who's a musician, you find somewhere else. That's where you devote your life. But is that what you were created for? No. So it entails then worship. It gives the sense of direction to the creation, and it connects to the Creator, and it's what we were made for. We were created only to do this, to connect to God and follow His way, and anything else in life. So worship will entail how I have a wife, how I work. Worship is how I, adhere to society. Not only the ritualistic form of, like Brother Ali already mentioned, like it's how I do transactions will be according to God's way. That becomes then every aspect of life then becomes a worship. But in the comprehensive way of devotion to worship, we do that regardlessly, human beings. When we deviate from God, we always find the point of devotion somewhere else. That's, as a human being, we have that drive that needs to be fulfilled. So we channel it somewhere else. But the biggest problem is, though, when we neglect this part, then all those other questions then arise. Then that's where arrogance comes from in humanity. You know, the opposite of being obedient is the arrogance of man to his creator. And that is the first thing that breaks the chain of worship. When we do not recognize who the creator is, when we deny his existence, is the first, because there is no denial that he exists, but with denial of the creator, his oneness, then of course all other entail of life goes away. The sense of worship will be misdirected then. Your life will be depressed. You don't even know why you exist. So in his guidance, then we find the 5 daily prayers. Let's start with the 5 daily prayers that we perform every day. That is to remind us every day that God exists, and your purpose is to show you it's a summoning point where you find forgiveness as well every day. If we haven't had that, we will accumulate how many sins? You know, so the purpose of worship is to our benefit, not the need of God. God is already Al-Ghani. He's like, I can't emphasize the attribute of Allah. Allah is Al-Ghani, self-sufficient, rich, need nothing of us. Like if I don't worship Him, He makes multitudes of us again and destroy all this. Replace all this and make another one of us. So there's no need part of Him, but it's rather our need to God and a way of finding back to Him. Because what happens is our daily lives distract us every day. You're going to work, you're having family. So worship is what brings you back to Him. It's where you find your solitude, where you find comfort zone. Your life is stressful. Go to 2 daily prayers. You forget really the stress you had every day. You know, you find difficulty and you hit the roadblock. He gave us ways to communicate Him. He gave us the solution to every aspect of life. And that's what is worship. That is what worship is. And it's not a need of Him. You can see it. It's my need. When I hit the walls, like I'm at home now, stuck here, can't go nowhere. You know, who am I going to argue? Who am I going to go complain to? My wife, she's just like me. She's stuck here. Am I going to complain? So it's a point of going, finding the only one out there that can alleviate this for me is God, the Creator. And if we want to go back and, you know, I'm sure we cannot do justice in one session, this, and inshallah, maybe next time you can elaborate more in the worship part. Hopefully we can find time to do that. Let's go back to the last point that you were making, Brother Ali, which was in the essence of worship. Like it's what differentiates as well from those who believe in God and from those as well. This is also one very unique point. How do you know, you and I, if I'm fasting today and you're fasting, and we could go on every day together, and you say, I don't believe in God and I believe in God. It's what distinguishes from the believer and from the disbeliever. So it's like, I wear it proudly. I'm going to go have my mat. I'm going to be taking my prayer mat. It's what makes me who I am, the believer of God. It's the flagship of the believer. This is to show from the right from wrong as well. It should not be a burden, really. That's why you find some Muslims who find difficulty in worship, because they don't know why they have this sense of worship. They find it burden rather than being the flagship of honor, actually. God honors us worshiping him. Those are honored, those who worship God. That's why you see the other human beings who don't fall into the same category as you. That's what distinguishes you. That's the distinction between you and those who don't believe in God. So in the day of judgment, this will be your amulet of success. That you already, as Islamically we believe the washing, the ablution, and the purification of the prayer, it emanates in the day of judgment. That is what we've been doing. There is benefit to it. But of course, in the sense of now, yes, it distinguished me from not drinking alcohol, from not using drugs. That's what God told me to do it. And we know the benefit of it. You don't have to be a doctor. It gives me the sense of finding a refuge to God. When I'm in trouble, I go to prayer. No one else can solve this. Him. He gave me this life. So why can't he take it? Like even Jesus, if you go to scriptures, Jesus himself is in trouble. What does he do? He goes to the Garden of Gethsemane and he prays. What does he do? He asks, can you take this cup away from me? He asks. Now who are you going to go cry if you don't have God? Go cry your wife and it's not going to help you anything. So it's a sense of reliance, and that's what worship is. So we, of course, as a Muslims, say the only religion that makes sense, use your logic and your common sense, you come to find the Creator. And the only way you can come is in Islam, because that's where it all makes sense. A free God, self-sufficient God, existential, outside of creation, not limited to needy God, outside of universe, and only one. So when you want to worship, you don't have to face multiple places. You're only one human being. If you want to pray, there's only one place to pray. One God. There is no other God that's waiting maybe in the other second half of you that is going to be hungry. No, there's only one God, and he gave you this soul and one direction, and this is Islam. There is no other religion that gives you. Maybe Judaism might agree to this part of concept of God. We'll see how we disagree in the next session, inshallah.
Inshallah. Jazakallah khair, everyone. So we discovered and we talked about a lot of things. We went through how there is a necessity of having a creator, believing in a creator. We found out a little bit about his attributes. Obviously, we cannot do justice to all of them, but we heard a little bit about them from Brother Ahmed and Brother Ali. And we found out that he is not in need of our worship. It is we who need him. And in order to fulfill our purpose of life, this is what he created us for. So in order to repay or in order to fulfill our purpose of life, we do all these acts of worship in order to get back to him and connect with him. Jazakallah khair, everyone, for joining me. I know we didn't do justice to this topic. This is a vast topic. So next week, inshallah, we'll be talking about guidance. We talked about creator, and we established that there is a creator, and how is it there is a need for us to believe in the creator. So next week, inshallah, we'll be speaking about the guidance and how does guidance comes to us and how we fulfill the purpose of our life, and how do we connect to the creator, and how do we fulfill this purpose of life, and how do we worship him, etc. Jazakallah khair once again. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. See you all next week. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.